I'm Kaimila. I'm a writer. I write all manner of things, books of poems, novels, lots of essays. Yeah, so I'm originally from Jamaica. I lived here in Scotland for about 8 years, and now I live in Exeter. So a lot of my work actually is fascinated by places. Uh, But that sounds like a big thing. I guess I'm interested in how places become places. So how do you transform a random space into a place? By naming it, by giving it a history, by attaching stories to it. So I'm interested in that. I guess coming from a place like Jamaica, you get things like names that repeat themselves. So what is Glasgow in Jamaica? What is Edinburgh in Jamaica? What is Kingston in Jamaica? What happens when one person moves to another location and names it from, gives it a name that they remember from somewhere else? How does that place become an act of nostalgia? And how does it become its own self? How does it resist the imposition of someone's memory, someone's own feelings? All places are kind of contradictory and interesting. They're the result of kind of competing imaginations, and I'm fascinated by all of that. I don't know if I can ever tie down influences. I think I listen to the world around me. I read a lot. I walk about the world. I I listen to things people say. I don't know if inspiration is ever a very easy or simple or singular thing for me. It's just about how we observe and how we collect the world. Right now, it looks like I'm going to start off in Kenya, then I'm going to go to Ethiopia, and then finally end up in Ghana. So that's a weird kind of that way then coming back this way journey. So I guess there are many things that excite me about a project like this. I guess coming from the Caribbean, being a black person from the Caribbean, you're obviously part of that kind of African diaspora. Uh, so always going back to the continent is significant in all kinds of ways. It's where you're rooted, even though some of those roots are lost or hard to find or hard to stitch back together. It's the surprise of seeing resonances, of seeing echoes of your own culture, that oh my god, that's where that started, that's where that sound came from, that's where that look came from. That's always deep, and it can be emotional. I'm worried because it can be trite as well. So I'm really open to what happens, but I don't know what that will be yet. Yeah. So one of the things I think that's important to me is that I don't go with expectations. I don't dictate to the country what it will provide me with. I think you have to be open to meeting a new country on that country's terms. And I guess always with that is the fear of, well, then what will you find? Because you don't know. You are going into the unknown, and you don't know what will surprise you. You don't know what will capture your interest. You don't know if something will capture your interest. But I think you have to go with that kind of openness. But also just that willingness to encounter the banality of a country and to live in that, not to search for the exotic, not to search for the necessarily exciting, but almost my idea is to search for a country's banality. Yeah, I think I'm most looking forward to the surprises that will happen. But definitely going to Ghana, definitely going to places like Ethiopia, just because Jamaica has this long connection with Ethiopia. It's because of Rastafari, where they imagine Zion. The flag of Ethiopia becomes the flag of Rastafari. So I'm interested in seeing those connections. So seeing all those kinds of echoes, what it means in those countries, how what that means to me as a Jamaican person. I'm looking forward to all of that.